I didn't have the best sleep last night. My hair looks crazy. Um, I looked for my Hello Kitty sweatshirt this morning and I can't find it anywhere. I also lost my Barbie t-shirt this last year being here. So I have no idea where those two pieces of clothing are. I guess they just walked right out of my room and just left because there's no other explanation for that. I have no idea what happened to two of my favorite pieces of clothing. And I can look more thoroughly, but my Barbie t-shirt, I know I was wearing it this summer, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared out of nowhere. My license also disappeared. Remember that? Earlier this year, that just disappeared out of nowhere, and I'm pretty sure it was just sitting with my card. And so I don't know how the hell that just disappeared out of nowhere. I can look. It might be in this one place in the laundry room, but I don't think so. Let me go check if my Hello Kitty sweatshirt is in the laundry room. No, it's not in the laundry room, so it's gone somewhere. I have no idea where it is. I looked in all of my drawers. I can look in my drawers again, see if it magically appears. And the Barbie t-shirt, I was definitely just wearing that. And then all of a sudden, one day, it just wasn't here anymore. I had the Hello Kitty sweatshirt when I moved in. And, it's cold again, so I went looking for it. I went looking in the boxes that I had in the attic with some winter clothes. I couldn't find it. I found my purple sweatshirt, but I didn't find my Hello Kitty sweatshirt. It's kind of weird just to have like things like go missing. It's sort of like the NES that just like appeared out of nowhere. Like we were looking all over for it. We couldn't find it. And then all of a sudden it's just in this drawer downstairs. I feel sick again this morning. I felt nauseous. I woke up and it felt like I was grinding my teeth again. So now I have a headache from grinding my teeth. I woke up in the middle of the night, sort of had like a bad dream. And my dog was sort of like having the same bad dream because he was like making little like moans and stuff about it. I stayed awake for a while, and I'm just always like, when I stay awake, I'm like, are the space codes about to turn on? Because I couldn't fall asleep for a while, and then eventually I fell back asleep, and I woke up around 9:30, I want to say. Um, so I might have filmed a couple of videos with my Hello Kitty t-shirt on. I don't know. I mean, a Hello Kitty sweatshirt. I'm not sure if I filmed any with the Barbie t-shirt or not. Um, I mean, just like all of a sudden it's just like gone. It's just weird, right? So, and then the NES like appears out of nowhere. Like, what dimension am I on? I was talking to Obi-Wan this morning, and he was saying it means something's just not right, which it's like an indication that something's not right in the universe that we're in. Or he asked me, he's like, that's what it means, right? And I said, yeah, that sounds right. It's just an indication that like there's something off in the universe, because like where the hell is my, and that happened this summer too, and that probably happened before the space codes turned on. And now I went looking for my Hello Kitty sweatshirt, and now it's gone too, and I'm feeling really sick. And so I had that nightmare last night. And I woke up, stayed awake for a while, went back to sleep, and then I had a dream that I was in Miami with my old best friends, Sophie and Jeff, and we were out partying at like a bar or club or something. And Jeff bought me 5 shots of vodka, like all together, all in a row. And I drank the 5 shots of vodka. And then Sophie was like, now buy it back for Jeff. And I was like, Sophie, that's literally all of my money. Like I thought he was just being generous. Like I can't afford 5 shots of vodka because my friend bought me 5 shots of vodka at the bar. But I think I did it anyway, because I was just like, okay, fine, but I just want you to know, like, like if you think like it has to be like tit for tat, I'll do it this time, because I wasn't aware of that, because the Jeff that I know is just like a nice, generous person that does nice, generous things for me. Like they were my best friends for a really long time. And Jeff would always do like nice little things like that for me. And, but so I wasn't used to Sophie saying stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, fine, but that's like all my money. And, so it was like a little bit of an awkward, like drinking out with like my old best friends or something. And that's just not the Sophie and Jeff that like I'm used to. Jeff is probably just like, well, Sophie's saying it, so whatever. What am I going to do with my, you know what I mean? Like, what am I going to say? Like, so, and then I was like, so I was in Miami last night, and that was happening. And then I was like, maybe I was better off in Kenosha, where people are like more humble, and you just go out for like a couple of beers, and like maybe you'll buy your friend a beer, maybe you won't. Like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like nice and casual, and like, like that's basically what it's like in Kenosha. It's like, oh, if I can afford to buy you a beer, I'll buy you a beer. But if I can't, like, I can't. And then, like stuff like that. It's more casual and more cheap and just more chill. And it's like, I'll buy you a beer. It's not like I'll buy you 5 shots of like the top shelf vodka. So, and I was like, maybe I was better off in Kenosha with people, with chiller people. And that was the dream last night. And I know that I think like there's like a lot of people that are just like, well, Alyssa's always like in our friend group because we know it's Alyssa's energy. And so we always have like a list in our friend group. So like we never really miss her because like she's always there. And that made Gigi like really sick. Like Gigi was like, that's what we're really afraid of because it's like people know that I'm God and people know that it's all my energy by now. And they're not lying to themselves about that. But then they go and they say like stupid things like that. Well, I just meet Liz wherever I go. So like why do I have to care about like actual Liz? Like I always meet her because I'm in so many people. And did you guys see my lips turn purple like I'm a dead person? And and I think that's like the general consensus of like a lot of my friends, and that's making a lot of my spiritual group friends very sick and very ill. And it's also making me very sick and very ill because you're still ignoring the real one. And I have a sneaky suspicion that I was pushing my face out of that woman, that whoever my friends were hanging out with. I have a sneaky suspicion that I was pushing my face out of her. So they actually thought they were hanging out with Liz, which kind of makes it even worse because I'm already doing that on TV and I'm already doing that in my mind's eye. And so I think that people are experiencing that in real life too. And I wouldn't know that for sure because I am Liz and I sit in my house pretty much all day. So, but I'm going off of what I see on TV, and that what you see on TV is generally what's occurring in the room because there's one room, right? So it's like like watching like Hayden's Christmas movie last night and like it being like a holiday party. It's like, oh, that's like what the holiday parties are going to be like this year. And I was pushing my face through Emma Roberts in that movie, and and my brother Adam was pushing his face through Hayden as well. So, I mean, it's definitely occurring. We're definitely ascending in the 4D. Um, and these things are, you know, these things are happening. It was also Jake, but I don't think Jake pushed his face out, but Ads pushed his face out. um, so, Um, yeah, I think that's a huge problem if you think that like Alyssa is in your friend group and you're like, well, we're paying attention to her. She's in our friend group, but like she has a completely different name on her ID. It's not Alyssa. If she has her name, it says Alyssa Janello on the ID, that's going to be even worse for humanity, I want to say. And that's maybe sort of like the precursor. And that maybe is sort of like why my dad stole my ID to space so that I could start pushing my face through humans because it's like a space that's sort of like a space protocol to be able to shapeshift and push ourselves out of humans. And I mean, um, it's making us all sick, you know, like this the way that humanity is going, it's making us all sick and it's making us all hopeless and it's making us all feel defeated and it's making us all depressed. And if you think you're on the Atlantean side and you're the only one that's feeling that way and like you want to blame me, like think again because we're just as depressed, probably even more than you are, Atlanteans. Um, it's like constantly be like, why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this to us? And it's like, I think I've told you this a million times. You are robbers of my energy. You are robbing me of my energy each and every day. Yes, Sophie and Jeff loved me very much. Did they pay for flights for you? I don't think they ever paid for a flight for me. Um, but they were definitely generous. They definitely treated me like family. Um, and they were rich, okay? Just like freaking Ryan Reynolds, okay? It's not, um, it's not a big deal to have, a good job and live at a good pace and be friends with me. I'll say that. Um, so yes, I had like a pretty normal life until I died. I got deleted from my game, whatever you want to say, in 2017. Um, so yeah. It's a pretty sad situation to be in right now, and you're not alone. Um, what else can I say? Oh, I was taken back to the 1950s last night, and I guess there's two timelines, just like there always is with my grandmother, Peggy Carter, aka Joan. Her real name is Joan, and like Joan, she was Joan of Arc, and I was Joan of Arc. Elissa. My name is Elissa Joan. If you're not familiar, and there's two timelines. One is the perfect timeline where I'm Joan of Arc, and one's the timeline that occurred. And yes, it's probably also Mila Jovovich, who was also Joan of Arc, actually Joan of Arc, and that might be a third timeline. Um, there's a lot of timelines that existed simultaneously of the same stories, and obviously my grandmother is the Joan with the short black hair. She looks a lot like how she did in this life, in her Peggy Carter life, and I want to say the perfect time. And there's pictures of me as Joan of Arc. There's pictures of blonde Joan of Arc. And that's obviously me. And that's the perfect timeline. There's like a rainbow over her head. And that's because we took over the castle and we won as the Anunnaki bloodline. And we were allowed to say that then because I got put in charge. Now we're not really allowed to say that because I'm not in charge. And so people think, oh, we're Anunnaki. And then they use that to go against me. They say, well, I'm Anunnaki. Like, well, then put Elissa in charge. Then you're not Anunnaki. So that's why we can't say Anunnaki right now. So, oh yeah, and then this morning they called Obi-Wan and I said, who can go against Darth Vader? And then I saw Obi-Wan levitating towards me, which means Obi-Wan can fly. And then I heard Darth Vader scream, Obi-Wan! Because there's bad Darth Vaders out there. They're not just Hayden Darth Vaders. And Obi-Wan said to me, don't worry, Liz, we've gone dark side before. to go against him. And I had, so this happened like during that time, 2017 to 2022. And it's really hard to say like exactly what year this dream occurred, but there was this dream where there was this time, I think it was during COVID. And there was this time where the energy was saying that I was the last empath on earth and I was completely surrounded by narcissists and that everyone around me was a narcissist and I was the only person with empathy in the entire world. And it gave me tons of panic attacks. And I just remember being like, how could this be? How could this happen? How could this happen that I'm the only one with empathy on the whole earth? And I just was like panic attacking, having seizures. Like it was getting sick. Every time I ran into an Alex clone at the grocery store, he would literally throw up right in front of me. It was so upsetting to Alex as well, right? And literally every time I would see an Alex clone anywhere I'd go, he would look at me and throw up. I'm not kidding. Like in physical reality. Okay. It was like that visceral at that time. Sorry if that embarrasses you, Alex. And so, at that time I had a dream, which was not a dream, which was an interdimensional reality where I shifted realities and it was a very black, it wasn't my void though, but it was like very dark and I was crying and sitting on the floor and I was Ray. So I was Ray from, who I mean, because I was Ray and Ryan was Kylo Ren. And I think I talked about that, and Adam Driver has definitely talked about that movie where they're talking across walls and they're projecting to each other and talking across walls. That happened to Ryan and I back then, and I was Ray and he was Kylo Ren, and he was asking me to join the dark side and stuff, and it was a little scary to me at that time. And but yeah, that whole movie, that's just me and Ryan talking. Okay. Like, and that's sort of like when we started like being like, literally, what the fuck? Like, these are literally our conversations going on movies, right? And Adam Driver has talked about it. He's like, this is Liz and Ryan's conversations. Like, we can identify the leaders of the pack. Okay. Like, we know who the leaders of the pack are. And this was before I integrated my dark side. When I was like still a Christian and I was like weaning myself off Christianity and trying to figure it all out and stuff like that. And I was definitely Ray and the Jedi. And I was crying in like a dark space in space. And I was like, how can I be the only empath on earth? Like, this is so sad. And I was crying. And then I saw like all of the dark side like line up in front of me like this, and they were all laughing with their lightsabers. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this. And like I stood up and like I took my lightsaber, like, okay, fine, like let's go. And then Obi-Wan came from the back and he was like, you're not alone. I am also on Earth with you. And then there was energy transference, which is normal in outer space. And I'm trying to, like, so like you don't think it's weird or whatever, but like then he sort of like came into the back of me and he was like sort of like one person with me, and that was energy transference, and he was like lending like his entire energy body into mine to help go against the dark side, right? And so that's what happened last time, and then we integrated the dark side and stuff, and now Obi-Wan is going to be Darth Vader, and that's actually happening. That's actually occurring right now. And if Star Wars, if you write fucking movies about this shit, just know I'm fucking documenting this bullshit, okay? Because we're so sick of you fucking making money and making millions of dollars and being able to go to party out with your friends and stuff like that, while I'm here stuck in my house, not being able to drink, not being able to party, not being able to have fun, And then you just make fucking movies and you make millions of dollars off my goddamn conversations. And I'm so goddamn sick of that. I am so fucking sick of that shit. And so is Ryan, and so is Adam Driver, and so is the rest of us, and so is Ryan Reynolds, and the fucking rest of us. Okay, we're all goddamn sick of this fucking shit. Okay, this shit really happens interdimensionally. You're listening to my conversations right now, and God forbid you fucking make one more cent off my fucking conversations with Ryan DeRowan. Okay, we're fucking pissed off. Okay, and yes, and it does include celebrities. Okay, they know that by now. It's actually Obi-Wan. It's actually Ewan McGregor. Okay, that's when I say Obi-Wan. My Obi-Wan is actually Ewan McGregor. Okay, so you're not acknowledging the one goddamn fucking molecule, because I already heard you like, oh, so it's fine for Ewan McGregor to make money off of it though, because he's actually Obi-Wan. It's like you're not acknowledging the one goddamn fucking molecule, right? I'll be like another fucking female lead in fucking Star Wars or whatever, and she'll make $1 million or whatever, however much she's going to make. And then I'll be left here with nothing again in 3D reality when you're listening to my fucking interdimensional conversations and making money off of it. Because Star Wars is real. Okay? Star Wars is fucking real. Yeah, we're fucking pissed off that the world is going this way, and it's making us all fucking sick. Okay? So, yeah, okay, so I went back into the 1950s last night, and so I was saying there's multiple timelines, and so there is a perfect timeline where I am my grandmother, and Chris Evans I married Chris Evans, and he's my grandfather in this timeline, but in the perfect timeline, we won back then in the 1950s, and so it was Elissa and Chris then, and we were married already. And we already know that, but I'm just saying, like, it was a timeline. There's a timeline shift when we fall, and the story rewrites itself. If that makes sense to human beings out there. Oh yeah, it's not that we're not that stupid. Listen, we're listening in. We're writing it all down for money on Netflix. We're writing it all down for money. Okay, listen, we're listening in, and we got it. We got the script right here, right in front of me. That's how not stupid we are. Okay, good luck sleeping with that script in your fucking hand. So anyway, that's what we're doing yet again, except this time, Ewan and I are both dark side, and yes, it's to give, well, like, I'm barely running on empty right now, right? So that's why we need strength from Ewan, who's Darth Vader now. And that's also normal in space to like switch back and forth, which they don't show in Star Wars. And maybe they will now that I'm saying it out loud, because they have to write things for money to steal my money. Right? So, and capitalism is deeply linked to Atlanteans, and because the only reason to live is for my energy, and that's why it's scaring my friends, because some of my friends are saying, well, she's already in our friend group, so what do we care about the real molecule? And that means I'm going to suck all of my energy back from those fake Lissas and become a fully embodied light body, which I did talk about yesterday, and that's why it's terrifying to them, because that's going to be a very dark world. And you're going to have to it's going to be a very hell on earth type landscape, and people are seeing it. Aren't people psychic? Don't people get psychic visions all the time? I see it all the time with my friend group when they're looking through their third eye and they see it, and like, what's going to happen next? They're like, whoa. And it's not good. It's very, very dark. Okay. And that's because you're not listening to me, and you're saying, well, I meet lists everywhere I go, so why do I have to pay attention to the one molecule? You're not meeting lists. You're meeting clones of mine. Okay. Those are clones. It's called Clone Wars. Okay. It's on Star Wars. Look it up. Okay. You're meeting my goddamn fucking clones, and you're saying, well, I meet lists. You don't meet lists. You do not meet lists. Liz is right here in her goddamn fucking house, not being appreciated on Earth. You're not meeting lists. How many times do I have to say it? Do I have to record a whole video of me saying that for an hour? You're not meeting lists. You are not meeting lists. You are not meeting lists. Okay? You are meeting my energy, aka called a clone of me. All right? Those are my clones. She's my clone. I'm pulling my energy back from my clones right now. Okay. It's going forward. That's what's happening. That's what happened last night. I'm pulling my energy back from, mean parent, number one. I'm pulling my energy back from my clones. I'm pulling my energy back from a lot of people this season. Okay, that's going to lead to a very dark world. And I'm trying to warn humanity yet again. Here I am warning humanity. Don't steal my money. Don't steal my ideas. Don't think you're good at marketing. Don't think your marketing degree means shit, because it doesn't mean shit. Don't think you're a funny comedian, Jenny Slate. Okay, when you're just freaking stealing my goddamn jokes yet again for money. Okay. I mean, look at her under eyes. It doesn't look like she's been sleeping lately, right, Chris? So you're not meeting Liz, you're meeting my clone, and that's who now I'm pulling my energy back from. Okay, so I'm going kind of fast. I'm not spending too much time in each world. I'm doing it like in one swoop every single night. And so, okay, repeat after me. You are not hanging out with Liz. Repeat after me. I am not hanging out with Liz. Because if I was hanging out with Liz, I'd be calling her directly on the telephone and talking to her directly. Okay, just like the spiritual leaders, I directly ask the energy what to say. I never asked you to directly ask the energy what to say. Okay, you're asking the conglomerate of energy. I'm asking you to directly ask the New World Order leader, which is me, Elissa Janello, and I have a human flesh person. You're supposed to be asking the human flesh person, not the conglomerate of energy, what to do. I was told to do this. You were told to do this by who? By the conglomerate of energy, which can trick you and can confuse you and can, lead humanity to the dark place. Okay. All right. I became a lion last night. That's new energy, earth filling in. Okay, I'm a male lion. I'm a white male lion with blue eyes in that. And my friends are like, oh, you're a male. And I'm like, oh, I guess I am a male. I guess I am a male lion. And so that's where humanity is leading itself to, Animal Planet. All right. So how many times do I have to tell you, Star Wars, to get off of my space dick? Get the hell off of my goddamn space dick. Okay, like this fucking broadcast didn't go backwards, right? Okay. I'm just thinking if there's anything else I want to say. I just want you to get it through your head. You're not hanging out with Liz. You're not hanging out with Elissa. You are not hanging out with Elissa. You are hanging out with the clones. Attack of the Clones. The Clone Wars, okay? If you're not Star Wars versed, you might want to try to be Star Wars versed now. You are hanging out with my goddamn clones and you're calling them my name. And they're starting to respond to my name. My name is Elissa Janello, but my name is Elissa Janello. But my name is Elissa Janello. But my name is Elissa Janello. I am the prettiest princess. I am Elissa Janello. Vote for me, humanity. Vote for me, because I am Elissa Janello. No, you're a fucking clone. You're a clone. But my name is Elissa Janello. Your name is not Elissa Janello. You sound like a psychopath. You sound like a fucking psychopath, okay? But my name is Elissa Janello. You know how many times I fucking hear that a day? You guys are fucking insane. You're a clone. You're my clone. You are the real thing's clone. I feel like I have to say it a million times because it's just like my thoughts. That's what my thoughts are saying. I feel like I really need to say it like a million times. You are literally just a clone. That's all you are. You're a goddamn clone. You are a fucking clone. But I am Elissa Janello. No, you're not. You're a clone. But I am hanging out with Elissa Janello. I saw your face, Elissa. It was you. That is a clone. I'm sitting home alone in my house in New Jersey. Okay? How many times do I have to say it? You're not hanging out with Elissa, even if you're seeing my face come through this person. Even if she says she's Liz, ask for ID and see who it says. If it says it's Elissa Janello, that's not a good sign, okay? That means it's advancing. That means my powers are advancing big time if that's happening. Okay, I'm trying to warn you in the present moment. Do you understand? It's like really hard to explain it to people because I don't think they get it. Because if they got it, they wouldn't be doing this. In the present moment, I'm not fully embodied. My name is Elissa Janello, and I'm the only one, and I'm in New Jersey, right? But I do have a future self, okay? I have a future self currently right now, and she's probably more embodied because humanity's not listening. And she's got a condescending tone this morning, and I don't like it. Did I hear you? I think I heard you. I think I heard that. Okay, so this morning, I swear to God, if this fucking video doesn't let me post, I'm gonna be so mad. I just erased so many videos from my fucking laptop. There should be plenty of space for a fucking hour-long video. So if you are meeting, because I'm hearing it in the collective, but I met her. I actually met her, okay? And that's what people are getting confused about. I actually did meet her, and she had to show her ID or something like that, and it definitely was Elissa. I'm telling you, my future self is more embodied. It is actually Elissa Janello, okay, from the future, where I'm more embodied, and she's going backwards to protect me, the actual one molecule in the present moment. If that makes any sense to you humans, if that makes any sense to humanity, okay, that's what's happening. Is she a clone? She's my future self, and she is doing that to protect me in the present moment. And I will eventually meet that path and be that embodied, and I will be doing that to clearing the timelines. That means that I become a fully empowered, multidimensional, interdimensional, embodied human on Earth. The light in the dark world. If that makes any sense to commoners, if that makes any sense to people that are not occultists. It makes perfect sense to us. That's why I don't even know why I'm over explaining, because I thought everybody's name was Ryan Rowan. Okay, apparently it's not. It makes perfect sense to us, okay? So yes, eventually probably like, it's like then she'll walk in, like her energy will run, that future self, her energy will run out, and she'll walk in and give me all of that power and all of that embodiment and all of that knowledge. And that's normal space protocol. And that's just Elissa becoming more embodied. That's all it is. That's how I became Jean Grey, if that makes sense again to you guys. That's how I became the interdimensional cleanup crew that I've been since I was a child, if that makes sense. The bilocating queen that I am. The demon queen that I am, that just, that rides the crimson wave at night. All right? That's how embodiment works. And I feel like you're like, what? How does that make sense? But then, and then the future Elissa, then she's the new world order leader. Like, that's what I like. Present moment Elissa is the new world order leader. It is not that hard to understand. a light in a dark world is very, very um, sad place to be for humanity. And that's why I'm trying to get you to understand, to respect me in the present moment, um, and let me embody her in a more gentle fashion, which I've said all year long. I'm pretty sure I've said that all year long. Yes, I have. Okay. Yes, it's sort of like embodying Melina. It's sort of the same thing. It's like I'm on the verge of embodying Melina, right? We've seen bleed throughs of her all year long, right? Am I fully embodied Melina? No, I'm not. I'm not fully embodied Melina yet, right? But y'all are still scared to death of Melina, okay? And I'm not fully embodied her. We all know who the real Liz is, right? It's not Melina. Y'all get it? Okay, I think that helped a little bit. Thank you very much.